how do
cool.
you deal with a failure in a project, and when do you move on, and when do you restructure your idea? And before,
Yeah.
let me just give it a little bit more specific.
Mm-hmm.
I think with your first company, it's really interesting because, you know, you kind of ran into a cul-de-sac, as you mentioned, and decided to stop. You needed a new idea. And I know with Second Glass, it didn't start off with the wine riots. It was more of a magazine. And then instead of stopping the idea, you evolve the idea. So how do you know when to go either way? Because every entrepreneur runs into that challenge multiple times.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is like you can call it failure, but seeing failure as a learning tool. Like Michael said, you know, with the print so with Second Glass, we started in the very beginning as a print publication because at the time, everyone on the internet was just like a whiny 65-year-old annoying blogger. I use 65 a lot. I'm not saying 65-year-olds are not awesome.
Sorry
They're
for
awesome.
everyone who's 65 years old.
Sorry for everyone who's 65 years old. But there were just a lot of like whiny bloggers. And so we wanted to be different. And so to be different, we started printing the publication. But then, you know, you could say that the publication was a failure in that we started seeing when we would hand it to people, a lot of the people we thought were going to be really interested were like, oh, this is cool, but like I'm interested in wine, but I don't want to read a whole article. I don't really have the time to read a whole article. Like that's a lot of time. Like I'm into wine, I'll buy it, but like I don't want to read a whole article. Yeah. And you know, we could have seen that as a failure, but we thought, oh, okay, cool. Well, blogging wasn't working. The print publication can only get us so far. So we really started building more online tools. And what we ended up coming up with was an email that we send out. And it was based on the idea of daily candy at the time that we call Wine of the Weekend, where we would suggest one wine a week. And it was like the blurb of text was like that much. It was like it was like 150 words. And people loved it because it was a specific wine suggestion, which we realized that they really wanted from the print publication. We just couldn't get enough in there. And then it was just a little tidbit of information. They were like, perfect. Okay, I'm ready. Like next week, I'm ready for the next one. And so while the print publication you could have said was a failure, it was really like something that taught us, okay, we have to shift a little bit. And, you know, I think, you know, figuring out how do you shift and when do you make those shifts, it's, you know, how much is it hurting you money-wise? And how much are your customers, like, are they interested? And really trying to figure out why it failed. You know, if you see that, like for our first event, Wine Riot, we didn't sell that many tickets. So after, you know, because it was just the first event. So afterward, we really looked into, well, what was a success for us? What helped us sell tickets and what didn't? So next time we won't do the things that didn't help and we'll do more of the things that did help.